There were 3 horses and a burro on the lower land, and the coyotes looked on the lumbering creatures moving about with a mixture of amusement and disgust. They drank from the pond and waited in the trees, and easily took the rabbit or mouse that came to drink. Though they hunted in secrecy, they allowed the horses to witness the ease with which they took their meal, because they liked to see them staring back with their big, dumb admiration. "Here's how you do it," Toonie would yip. "Tough job," Coyote cracked. "You gotta be skilled, like a coyote," Obligado the chief would comment with a grin at the dummies and snatch a trapped mouse in 3 steps. Obligado was older and had been far to Day's son, and had a grin that coyotes admired when it was not directed at them. Horace would shake his head like he got it and stroll away with his head heavy down. "Sucker's doomed to a life of dependence," Obligado would say. "But he gonna stop by the den tonight. You want to press on the girls tonight?" Obligado laughed, like a pup playing with his first mouse. Old Dog was shaking his head with a grin. "No," he said quietly. One of the others tore open a good-sized jackrabbit. He ripped a piece of meat away, then nudged the carcass with his snout to the next coyote. "It's true," Obligado said in a rippling of bark and laughter. The others laughed with him. Old Dog shriveled. "But he want to press the girls, don't you, Old Dog?" Coyote watched Old Dog when Obligado went on. "I seen him standing today looking them over. He wanted to go sniff 'em, get the strong scent from the source." Obligado sniffed the air with eyes opening and closing slowly in mock wonder. "Where'd at?" he barked, and they all laughed. Old Dog suddenly snapped at Obligado's face with more ferocity than Coyote would have expected. All of the coyotes were caught in the drama of such a surprising action, including the chief, but he ended the moment, first with an appreciative grin, followed by a display of only the beginnings of a considerable might, with which to easily snarl down Old Dog. Old Dog could only lay grinning and shaking his head. Obligado sniffed him up and down, then pulled his head up sharply and laughed. "Oh, you stink like dead weasel. Old Dog, you better press on the girls. You're putrid." He laughed again and walked across to the pond. The others followed, including Old Dog. They drank the sweet, rank water of the pond. Later, the retreat had come to the plain from the south, and though the beast came only from the southern fringe, he had gone back across the road to the orchard by the church. Toward Daysun, where his old pack's territory would be, he had found no one and nothing but the exposed soft earth and piles of trees. He sniffed out the carcasses of half-skinned and mangled creatures, and he had had to retch at the sight. Humans did not use what they took. Finally, he knew that the tents were under the earth and the tangle of trees and shrubs. The pack had vanished. It was then, too, that the retreats were occurring on that side of the road from Daysun. All manner of creature came up, taking over even the church grounds, until the gardener had set out the poison. Then the place was a lush wasteland. But there was the big rocky mound-like ridge across the small road from the church, and all the hills and canyons beyond to afternoon sun. He hoped his mother and father had moved the young ones up the canyons or beyond. He had always heard that over the big ridge were valleys and canyons and more hills to the biggest and highest ridge. And to no sun, the fog came down the hills in the evenings, down like waves over the hills, and the hills wrapped further up to the afternoon sun direction. And there was the big creek above the town, and many smaller creeks in the canyons between the hills. He liked the hill country fine, though there were more coyotes now. But he was young, and he liked the company of the adult coyotes like Obligado, and the other males who were on their own and who had done everything and gone everywhere, and knew tales of females and hunts and the way it had been across the big road when there had been no retreats for many seasons. And Old Dog had tales of the other people from long before, and Coyote liked to hear about the days when the people of the earth had hunted. For more information, contact B. Spritzer at earthlink.net.